What is up, you guys? I am back at it with another video, and I kind of want to just do like a sit down talk life update. A lot has happened. I have new piercings, old ones, but they're back. I will get back to that. But how are we liking my look? I don't know how I feel about it. I really wanted to kind of match my shirt, but let me know in the comments what you guys think. I just put like 2 shadows and I was like, that's it. I'm more of like a 2 or 3 eyeshadow bitch. I don't like doing much, but I've been using more eyeshadow when I film. But anyways, I know I was going to do a live doing my makeup for court. That didn't happen. I didn't get any sleep the night prior. Max was just being annoying and being a cat. And also it was thundering and raining and it was just so much. I think I got like maybe an hour of sleep. And I didn't know if my friend was coming with me or not. And it was just so much. It was just so much. Much stress and just, I just wanted to get over with. Anyway, so I'll tell you guys what happened at court and life after court because it's been kind of crazy. So the first thing that happened right at court was, okay, so my friend ended up going with me and just my luck. When I turned on my car, now I don't remember if when I turned on my car this occurred or when I turned on my car leaving court. I don't remember, but yeah. I'm waiting in the car and I don't know if my friend's coming at this point. I texted her, I called her, and she finally answers and she's like, yeah, let me just get dressed and we'll head out. My law firm recommended me to go there really early, and I don't even know why, because the lawyer didn't even show up until like literally a few minutes before court. So honestly, I don't really understand why we had to be there so fucking early. We had to be there a whole hour before court. Anyways, we get there, we park not where we're supposed to, but we're in the same building, so it doesn't fucking matter. We get into the building and we're kind of lost. We're in the new part of the building, and I've always been to the old part of the building. And so then we someone helps us and they take us to where we're supposed to go, and we wait. We kind of just wait. I messaged the lawyer and I said, hey, I'm the one I have red and black hair, and I was wearing a really bright green coat because it was freezing that day. And so I let her know that, and she gets there, and when I see her, I immediately realized that I'm most likely not going to win this case. And I know you're not supposed to judge a person by their cover, by their face, by their action, but she didn't look prepared at all. We went over all my paperwork and everything, and I kind of knew. And it sucked knowing that you're not going to win a case. But anyways, so she asks basic questions and all that stuff, and then we walk inside the courtroom. Before we went into the courtroom, I realized that this is the place where my parents married and divorced, because they married and divorced in the old part of the building. And so that kind of opened up some trauma for me, and I know that sucks. And I haven't told you guys like all the things that my dad has done, but it did wake up some type of trauma for me. And whenever I am put in a situation like that, I kind of just isolate and I forget. You know, everything becomes a blur, and I try to not remember, and I try to not bring it up to no one. I am one of those people that just does not like speaking when it comes to trauma. It takes a lot for me to talk about trauma and all that shit. So it did wake up some type of a trauma for me. It felt very uncomfortable being there. And it brought back some really fucked up memories for me. So we walk in, and there's a few people there. Everyone's kind of separated. No one kind of is telling you like where to sit or what to do or anything. Judge is not there. It's just a cop and then just people. And I realized behind me is the person who hit me with a lawyer. Now, my law firm had told me that most likely she was going to be representing herself. And I was shocked to then see that she had a lawyer. Which, whatever, you know, you have the right to have a lawyer. So I was like, when is this starting? I don't want to miss the whole day of work and all that shit, you know. And judge gets there, cases starts. Oh, something happened. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to remember everything. So when we sit down, okay, my lawyer sits down really not near us at all. And then me and my friend stayed close to each other because the courtroom was cold AF. I mean, cold, cold, cold. Like we were freezing. I was wearing my jacket and she was wearing like a sweater, and we were using her jacket to keep like our hands and our feet and our legs warm. It was that cold in there. It felt like a hospital. It didn't feel like a court. And we sit down, and just right when we sit down, the lady who hit me is like, should I go move my car? And the lawyer, I don't know if they've known each other for a while or they just met. Like I'm talking about like as in the case, like did she just call this lawyer or whatever? But the lawyer was not nice to her. Y'all, the lawyer was just like, bitch, I don't fucking care. I'm here to win your case. I'm not here to solve your other fucking problems you got in your life. It was the funniest shit ever. I was like, damn. My lawyer was very nice and sweet, and you know, she kind of was just like, we're just gonna go in there and kind of just do our best, and whatever the case may be, it is. So she moves her car, and here's the thing, this place, court, and the buildings are all kind of connected, and it's in a roundabout, and there's parking. Like, there's nowhere else for you to park other than a parking deck. So we were confused of why she would have to move her car, because she said that she was scared that she was gonna get her car towed. Now, if she moved her car, it would have taken her at least 20 minutes to get to her car, move her car, and then get back into the building, then get researched again. Like, she was gone for like less than 15 minutes. So we thought, me and my friend were like, did she really go move her car? Like, it seemed like she went to go smoke, or she went to, I don't know. I don't want to be this person, but I also think that there's something that she may have done to my tire. I will explain why, but I think she did something, because I was still driving the car she hit, and she knew that I was there. So she probably, you know, I don't know, just went to the nearest by parking deck, and my car was there. I wasn't that far from the building, and I was actually in the same floor of the building, actually a floor below. So, or she was there with someone and they just didn't go inside the building. They just moved. I don't know. I don't want to, you know, you make your own conclusion of what she did. She could have gone out and smoked. She could have gone and moved her car, but I doubt it, because it was raining. People were coming in and out. And also, another thing is that the cops there who search you are not like, open your bag. No, like they search you. Like, they made my lawyer take all of her jewelry off. Yeah. So this was not like a quick case, whatever, you know, like a quick search. No, this was, they really checked their people, you know. So she comes back in, and she just, I don't see her, but she just seems very stressed, which I was too. but she was making it very visible. She kept talking to her lawyer. Her lawyer wasn't answering her. Like, I was able to kind of like, you know, my lawyer was like, is the lady who hit you behind us? And I said yes. And then she's like, okay, cool. And then she was actually writing down some answers because she didn't know if my friend was coming or not. So I also didn't know if she was coming or not. So she kind of wrote down like some questions to ask her if they let her be on the stand. So first case gets called. It gets resolved. I don't remember what the case was. Oh, no. It was just like the lawyer just represented his client and the judge needed to sign something and he signed it. Then the second case was about something. I think someone owed something to them and someone had missed court or something. I don't know. It was a very confusing case. I didn't know what the fuck was going on, but the judge said, okay, you know, we're going to resolve this, but you guys are going to have to go to a different court because I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about, pretty much. He didn't say those words, but you know. The third case was a lawyer representing Progressive and a lady representing herself. And she had all these documents, but none of the documents were proving her point. Like she was just kind of like saying like, oh, I believe, or I did, you know, like she didn't have anything in paper, even though she brought a little paper with her. But the case did not get resolved. He kind of just was like, it is what it is. I'm sorry. Like, this is how life is. She was crying. It was just so much. And I feel like the lady kind of just made it longer. And it's like, lady, I'm sorry, but sometimes you just got to let shit go. You just got to let shit go. And it seems like she had tried to sue other people and it just was not going her way. And it just felt so frustrating because I understand her point of view, like being accused of a car accident that you did not, you know, do, someone else did. And then like, I don't know, something happened with like her insurance wasn't Progressive. It was something else. And she was in the process of getting Progressive and they were like in the process of like accepting her. So she didn't have technically Progressive, but Progressive went along and did all the paperwork in their end and they paid out the other person. And she was like, they shouldn't have done that because I was still not under Progressive. It was a lot. It was a lot. All I know is that lady just talked. Didn't get to the point. The lawyer that was representing Progressive didn't even say 1-2 sentences maybe. And I feel like the reason why we were there for such a long time was because of their case. Then my case. It was the last one. And I was just like, great, we're just going to sit down. He seems like a very cool judge. Like he didn't give me like weird vibes or anything, you know, because sometimes judges will tend to go to one party more than the other one, if you know what I mean. I don't want to sound crazy, but I hope that makes sense. But we get called and we sit down and my friend tries to sit a seat closer to me, like behind me, and cop was like, nope, you need to sit a whole row. No one was here. No one was in that room. Just me, my lawyer, the other lady, and her lawyer, and my friend, judge and cop, but whatever, okay. And I get questioned what felt like a good 15 minutes. I don't know why, but they kept bringing up the fact that I didn't miss that many days of work, that I waited 28 days to see treatment, and all this other shit. And I was like, I'm losing this case. I'm not going to make any money, which I'm not suing her for money. I'm suing her because she hit my car. I was fully stopped at a red light and she hit my car to the point where my car was scratched, okay? Now, the bumper didn't go in or any of that stuff. My car wasn't fully damaged and my trunk was able to be working fine, whatever. But still, she hit my car. And I was nice enough to not tell the cops everything that went down and how rude she was to me and how mean she was to me and how she didn't want me to call the cops and she didn't want to give me her insurance. Like, I did not tell all this crap to the cops. And I learned a lesson that day. Next time this happens to me, which I hope it's never, knock on wood, never want to be in another car wreck because I'm done. I'm done. Next time this happens, I'm either going to record or I'm going to tell everything to the cop. I'm not going to leave not one single fucking detail because I was too fucking nice. And the reason why I was nice was because she is much older than me. And I felt bad, you know, because the older you are, the difficult it is to get your license for a longer time and all that shit. And I was trying to be fucking nice. If she would have just given me her insurance and I would have been able to take a picture of her insurance card and called her insurance and said she hit my car without a report, I think we would have been fine. But she didn't. She didn't. She's like, I've never been in this situation before. I don't know if you're allowed to do that. So I called the cops, which you're allowed to do. Even if it's not like a horrible car accident, you are allowed to call the cops and ask for a report. I know that's a right for me, for everyone who gets involved in a car wreck. She thought it was a big deal and all this crap. But I think if I didn't get this report, I think she would have said something and gotten her car fixed, even though her car was completely fine. But yeah, then I get sit down, then she gets brought up. Actually, no, my friend gets brought up. She was there for like maybe less than a minute because they were like, do you live with her? And I'm like, she sees me daily. She sees me all the time. We live in the same fucking building. We run into each other all the fucking time. And they just were like, oh no, she's not relevant, blah, 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 you know, all that crap. Then the other lady gets called up. She was there for 2 seconds. And all they asked her was, what were you doing before the car accident? What happened? And then they asked her, you know, something about like, how did you know you were in a car wreck? Because she says that she didn't even hit my car, that she didn't even know that she hit my car, and she didn't know that we were in a car accident. You scratched my car, lady. If it was not that big of a hit, then why the fuck was my car scratched? And the reason why this car was scratched was because this was a brand new fucking bumper, okay? I had just gotten my car fixed less than a year ago because I was hit at a fucking red light. And this motherfucker hit me so hard that me and my friend, who were on our way to go eat dinner, literally ended up not doing anything. It was that bad. Like, we were just like, we're not even hungry. We don't want to hang out anymore. And so I had just gotten my car back like a few months ago. So this was and I told the cops, this is a brand new bumper. Like, I just got hit like less than a year ago, and this is a brand new fucking bumper. This bumper is not even a year old. And there was no scratch prior to this. The cops noticed it. I didn't notice it. And I think that says a lot. Okay? And they put it in the report that there was light damage to my car. Okay. Now, what I do not understand is how they let her get away with the fact that she was using her phone, and she said it in court that she was using her phone and that she was fixing her phone. She did this whole thing where she's like, I was just leaving my friend. She was just in the hospital. There's no hospitals near there. And I didn't say that. I just kept my mouth shut. I didn't fucking do anything about it. I was just like, you know what? Let this bitch win this case. Let her win. I didn't receive a ticket. I didn't fucking get points off my fucking license. Okay? So I get set back down, and I have no emotion. I'm numb at this point. And when I'm numb, I don't show anything. I don't show anger. I don't show like stress. I have this blank face. And my friend, and I also noticed when I was in the stand, the lady that hit me, she was just showing so much emotion. And like every time I talked, she was making me even more nervous than I already was, because she was like she was being so fucking dramatic. And I am so fucking mad that the judge was like counting sheeps. Like he was in his Lululand and he did not notice, because when she went up on there, I didn't show any fucking emotion. I didn't show any expression. I didn't, nothing. But she was showing all types of shit. And I'm like, that's not really allowed in court. But this is what the judge said. He pretty much said that my bill for my medical was too fucking high. It was only $6,500. I did treatments for 3 to 4 months. Not that much, okay? And I just only did chiropractor. I got x-rays. I didn't get no injections. I didn't do an MRI. I wasn't in a lot of pain, but I was in pain. And since I have a history of being in multiple car wrecks where I get hit from behind, I was scared that later on I was going to get something where I was gonna need adjustment and it was gonna be coming out of my fucking pocket. So I went to go treatment. And I did wait. I'm sorry, but we all have lives. We can't always just take time, especially people who have a job like I do, where we don't work in an office. We don't check in and check out. Like, if we don't work, we don't make money. Like, if I don't work, my mom doesn't work. That's 2 people not making money, okay? And pretty much the judge says that he was going to meet in the middle. I wish he would have gone the route where he paid half the bill. Well, the lady had to pay half the bill, but he only said that they needed to pay $2,500, which is actually a lot more than what they were offering, because they wanted to pay less than that. So that is a happy thing, you know, somewhat. So we leave. She was the first one to fucking leave, okay? She was the first one out that fucking door. Not even her lawyer. She was the first one out. I waited for my lawyer to pick up her things, and we left with her, because obviously I had questions like, what happens now? I've never been in this fucking situation. And so I was like, so what? Like, I was livid. I was pissed. I wanted to punch somebody in the face, not the lawyer, but you know, and I wasn't gonna do it either. I'm in fucking court, you know. But I was just so mad, because I felt like I was only asking for what was fair. I wasn't planning on getting any money. I just wanted them to pay for my medical bill. And so she pretty much tells me that that they now needed to talk to the law group, the lawyer group, and come down with their fees. They were going to talk to the chiropractor, and they were going to lower her fees. She's a woman that, she doesn't run it, but like the boss runs it. And so he would have to then run down the fees. And she said most likely they are, because you've been loyal and you've always gone to them. And so I said, so like what just happened? And she said, oh, I'll give you guys an update on my hand, because look, MSAR. I'll tell you what happened. So she pretty much said that the fact that I like didn't ask for many days off, I only took 1 day off, which was not technically true, because I just didn't clean one house. But the week prior, the 2 weeks prior to that, we could not work normal houses that we did. I had to cancel a lot, because I couldn't do more than 2 to 3 houses a day, because I was moving a lot slower, because I was scared of driving. And when you're scared of driving, I'm sorry, but you still have to drive. Like, what am I supposed to take to fucking go clean houses? A bus? Like, how the fuck would I get to all the houses? The bus here sucks. The train here sucks. It doesn't stop everywhere. Like, so, and they didn't let me explain that. Like, I was getting so frustrated. And so she said that within a week, it's been more than a week, and they haven't reached out to me. And I'm not going to reach out to them. They need to figure that shit out. But that they were going to reach out to let me know, like, what the numbers were going to be. So if I get a penny off of this just shit that just happened, I got lucky. So So after a few days of this happening, I do have another court hearing, and that's gonna be like an actual trial, and I don't want to go. So I called my lawyer and I was like, you guys need to solve this outside of court. I'm not going. If you guys go to court, good luck. I ain't fucking going. I'm not going. I'm not gonna go and look stupid, because I can't really defend myself when my job is not like everyone else's job, you know? My job's a little different. And yes, I am the boss and everything, but it's like, it's only me and my mom. That's it. There's no other people working for us. And yeah, so me and my friend leave. I turn my car and I have literally only 17% of pressure on one of my tires. I rush home. I hug my friend. I was like, thank you so much. Da, da, da. I did get us breakfast before we went, and I took a nap. I took a nap because I literally was exhausted. I was so tired. My brain was just like pounding. I had a migraine. I was like, I need to sleep. So I slept for like an hour, maybe 2, I don't remember. But I wake up and now I have to solve this problem. So I go and get the tire checked. Actually, no, it had gone from 20 to 17. So I think it happened at court. I don't think it happened because I feel like if it would have happened here, then it would have been from 20 to 17 and then 17 to something lower, but it was still at 17. So I think it happened at the courthouse. So I think she probably had someone, and I know this sounds horrible, and I hate thinking the worst of people, but I think she had someone put a nail near my tire, which sucks. Thankfully, I live in a pretty like commercial area, and was able to get a tire location pretty fast, and I was able to they just, you know, fixed it. You know, I didn't need to get a new tire. They were like, your tire is pretty new. You don't need a new one. And I was still in shock. And then a few days later, I called my lawyer. We had a conversation, and I was like, I'm not going to court. I'm sorry for the other trial. No, I'm not going to go and look stupid. And also I was like, you guys need to fix this. And they were like, we're going to do everything. We feel really horrible that you felt that way. And I did. I felt like I was being attacked by her lawyer, the judge. I just felt like, I mean, I wasn't like verbally being attacked, but I felt like I was being questioned more than her, when she's the one that was driving, withholding her phone. And you're not supposed to do that in Georgia. Georgia is a hand-free zone, you know, hand-free state, whatever. Yet she was allowed to fucking get away with fixing her phone. So it just comes to show that laws are not for everyone. So yeah, that has gotten me really stressed and very just down. And I kind of started drinking a little bit. I stopped. I wasn't drinking like crazy. I was just drinking wine. And yeah. And yeah. Yeah. I went to go clean a client's house who was doing an open house, and she asked me to scrub her tiles on her floor, and I didn't wear a glove, and my hands are now like peeling. It's gross. This looks so much better than before. This is like day like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's day 3. So yeah, and then what else happened? I got my nose piercings and my Medusa. Okay, so I have a friend who worked at the shop where I usually get my ink done. I won't be going most likely back there. I think I'm going to be going to a different shop now because I have a client who is a tattoo artist, and I'll get to why I'm going to go with him. So, so we stayed in touch after shit went down. And so I said, hey, do you want, I kind of knew that she was like struggling a little bit with money, like her money was a little tight. So I said, hey, you know, can you do my piercings? I'm okay with you doing it at your house. And so I went over to her house. I've never been. And she did this one first, I believe. Fine, I didn't feel anything. Then she did this one, and this one literally started to bleed like crazy. And I felt this like huge amount of pressure, and I think it was because of the blood. And she was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I was like dripping like down my, it was wild. And she was like, has this ever happened? And I was like, no. So I think it's just because I've pierced both of these like 5 times already at this point, and so probably the tissue is just like thicker and crazier. But she said they weren't fully closed, but she's happy that I went with her because it would have been safer instead of me like forcing a piercing down there. And then my Medusa, I feel like she kind of got nervous with the Medusa just because of like the blood that was coming out from my nose, and like the blood wasn't stopping, and I was like, it's fine, it's fine. And I felt very, very like pressure and just tension in that particular area. And we were supposed to go to the serial killer exhibit, but we ended up not going. And so we went out to eat. And so we talked for hours. I felt like we were there for a minute. And it was nice, like, catching up with her. And she was like, so who are you gonna go get tattoos by now? And I was like, I don't know. Like, you know, Julio, I really loved how me and him worked. I felt like I would show him a picture and I'll be like, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, this is what I want to add. What do you want to add? Like, we worked really fucking good together. Like, I've always felt comfortable with Julio. But the reason why I don't want to go back to this shop, because your girl found some information where I'm like, I'm terrified to go back to the shop. This person, my friend who did my piercings, she said that one time they went to inspect the shop and the inspector found expired needles and expired ink being used on clients. And y'all, I about lost my fucking shit. I was like, what? So I then realized that there was a reason why one tattoo, which one is it? No, like it healed. Eventually it did. I think it was this one. This pinup. It was weird. Like it healed, and then there was a part where like it wasn't really healing. And y'all, when I get piercings, when I get tattoos, I am so much of a freak that I like change my sheets every fucking day. Every day. Like I just take everything off, because especially then, I used to sleep with my dogs, and dogs carry germs. Max doesn't really sleep with me, so I feel like with my piercings, I'm not really doing as much. I do clean them and all that stuff, but I feel like because I slept with my dogs and, you know, bacteria and all that shit, I would just strip my whole fucking bed. And I was like, nope, like I'm washing everything. And it still like was being really fucking weird. This like, there's like a scar. I don't really remember where the scar was, but there was like a scar around, and it was just like it itched and everything. So then I was like, in my head, not to her, I was like, maybe he used an expired needle or expired ink. And that was very concerning to me, because they then checked every single person's station, and everyone pretty much had expired ink, expired needles. And I was like, oh my fuck. And then she tells me that one particular tattoo artist who I do not fucking like, he did do one tattoo on me. I think he did 2 on me. And I just didn't like how he was working. He kept like touching the screen on his iPad with his gloves. And he was just not, like, he was always on his fucking phone. Like, I felt like I was like, hello, are you there? Like, I felt like I was just like there, but I wasn't really there, because that motherfucker was just making everybody feel invisible but himself. And he just gives really rude vibes, and he's like, he gives very like, oh, like, I, you know, like very like macho. Sorry, it's my ADD. I was like, I need to go fix those brushes. But she told me that that guy did a tattoo on her, and y'all, she told me that she didn't show me. It's in her bag, and she wasn't wearing like a tank top or anything where she could show me. And I was gonna be like, let me see. She said that it turned out so fucked up because it got infected, and she's like, I obviously cleaned it, I obviously do everything. She has multiple tattoos all over her body, and they're all big pieces, and they all look amazing and beautiful. But she's like, this one is the reason why I like don't wear dresses. It's the reason why I like don't show my back, because it looks so bad. It got infected. And then the owner, which I do not like the fucking owner, which is another reason why I don't want to go back, because I'm sorry, but if you're gonna be an owner and you're gonna be a boss, you need to be a nice human being. Like, these people are working their ass off for you to have the lifestyle that you fucking have, you know? But no, she's really mean. I've met her a few times, and the few times that I met her, I just eek. I'm like, get me out of here. Like, I don't want to be around people like this. And I'm a boss too, you know. I am technically my mom's boss, and my mom is my boss, you know. Like, we're each other's bosses, and we get along great. And it's not because she's my mom and I'm her daughter. It's because that's how you're supposed to be with your coworkers and the people that are making you rich as fuck. You know, obviously I'm not rich, and I don't think she's rich either. Her shop isn't all that, but in the Hispanic community, it's a very, very popular shop, like, because everyone that works here is Spanish speaking. But I was just like, whoa, like the owner told her like, oh, you just didn't take care of it well. And I'm like, what? And apparently a lot of people would go because they would get infected and they would blame the client. I'm like, if there's a pattern, I would be investigating my tattoo artist. But anyways, my client is a tattoo artist and he owns his own shop. And so when I feel comfortable, which I don't know when that will be, I will be asking him him or someone in the shop to do my tattoo, which he told me, you know, if you want to get pierced, if you want to get tattooed, just give me, you know, let me know. I will hook you up with a discount, because we just cleaned his shop for the first time ever, and we've been cleaning his house for a minute, and he's like, every 3 months I want to need you guys to come in here and like do a deep clean, because we can't do it, because we don't do the work you do. So I was like, yeah. And we were there for a minute. We were there for about 3 hours, because we were on like a schedule, like we had to be out before everyone started coming in. And then we were calculating with my mom. We didn't want them to walk into wet floor, because then like, what's the point of cleaning the shop? You know, the whole point is for the floor to be dry and then them to walk in. But we were there for a minute, and yeah, he did pay us what we asked for, which is always awesome. We always undercharge him because he's just a great guy, and I love him to fucking death. Like, he's one of my favorite clients, and not just because he's a tattoo artist, but just because like, I think we kind of work with like customers. So like, whenever he goes on a trip or something, he lets me know really in advance, like, hey, don't come, da da da, you know, I'm gonna be gone for this minute, like for this time, just don't come, skip my house or whatever. And it's nice when clients do that, because not everyone does that. Like, some people literally let me fucking know when I'm on my way, and I'm like, oh, thanks for fucking letting me know, you know. So I always tell him like, oh, I love you because you fucking tell me on time that you don't want service, and I'm able to like put something else, or we're able to like sleep in or whatever. But yeah, all that fucking happened. Oh, and then also I was cleaning out my safe box that I have, and I was reading some documents. I like cleaned out a lot, like before I did this clean out. Like I threw away a lot of immigration shit that I just didn't need, like from DACA and all that shit. So I kept this document that I had where it explained my learning disability, and y'all, I am in shock. It makes me want to do a deeper exam on myself, and I don't even know where I would go to for this, but I really would like to know just more of like what do I really have going on, because I'm gonna read it to you guys so you guys can understand, and I guess I can explain my learning disability and everything, because a lot of people don't know this, and a lot of people who do know this are very shocked that I have a learning disability, but I do. I have a hard time reading, I have a hard time processing shit, and you can call me stupid and whatever. I really don't give a fuck, okay? I don't care. But I do want to sit down and do like a, you know, deep talk to you guys about it, where I'm gonna read it and then you guys can know a thing or two about me. But that is it. That is the update. I know it's a lot. I'm sorry, but peace out. Take care. See you guys in the next one, even though my hands are ugly. Ew.